You know when the sun is shining and you think to yourself, girl, you gotta get yourself to the beach. Yeah, me neither, because I have kids. Why is it so hard for us to have an idea and act on it without 90 minutes in between? I could blame the kids. Sorry, I do blame the kids. But what it really comes down to, their stuff. There are approximately 300,000 items in the average household, but we moms own the least of them. Yet, I become Mother, the involuntary crap wrangler. If it's not filling a cooler beyond capacity, it's losing 20 minutes to find the sunglasses that your son refused to wear just yesterday. So what am I gonna do? From now on, I am eliminating the distance between decision and adventure by spreading this one-woman scavenger hunt around.
You want your shades? Then get them yourself.
And if your family, your team, won't help you get from point A to point Beach, you can always fall back on Old Faithful. We're not going! Who am I kidding? We're still going. What do you call 2 billion women who take totally different paths while on the same journey? Moms! Join me, MJ Miller, as I dive deep into motherhood, what it looks like, what it feels like, and sometimes what it smells like. What do we have in common? What sets us magical creatures apart from the rest? We're mothers, and we're carrying the Motherload. Why is the world so obsessed with breasts? Your body, your choice. You can do whatever you want with your own tatas. A few years ago, they came up with this product. It was a bra that would inflate and deflate as you liked. So if you saw a guy across a crowded room and you liked him, you could puff him up real big. But then if you didn't like a guy, you could make him look like sad balloons from yesterday's birthday party. No, you don't want these, no. I have always been self-conscious of my looks, specifically my eyes. If anybody makes eye contact with me, I'm always like, hey, the boobs are down here. Do you know what is a resource more valuable than oil? Women's low self-esteem. It is the grease that keeps our economy going. Talking to Brenda and Keith about their moms.
My mom was the most wonderful human being ever, and she was beautiful inside and out.
What about your mom?
Oh, she was nuts. Since she's been gone, I will forever feel alone. Mothers have huge impacts.
She's full of character. She's the life of the party, actually. Whenever I think of the most important person in my life, I think of my mom.
My mom is just like the sweetest person in the world to me. I feel like only now I'm really starting to like appreciate my mom a bit more. You can't just not love her for like everything she does.
I want to find out how well you guys know your mom. Do you know your mom's favorite color?
I don't think she has one.
Okay.
She's like really indecisive.
Yeah.
She's got a lot of red shoes.
I mean, the shoes don't lie, do they?
That's a great question. I'm gonna say blue.
A very arbitrary color.
What was your mother's favorite color? Blue. What was your mother's
Green.
favorite color? They know it. I don't know my mom's favorite color. Do you know your mom's favorite food?
I think so. Probably teriyaki chicken.
Have you ever made her teriyaki chicken?
A couple times, yeah.
Oh my gosh, you're a good child.
I know very little about my mom. I'm a big purveyor of ignorance is bliss, especially when it comes to my mom. If my mom was like, oh yeah, I got all the time, and I'd be like, kind of weird, Mom.
So boundaries.
Yeah.
Jordan Bonaparte is the host of the award-winning Nighttime podcast, which covers Canadian crime, mystery, and all things objectively weird. Premiering in 2015, the program now has millions of listeners and a deal with a national broadcaster. So what led Jordan to this creepy calling? the answer may require a little investigative journalism. So today we're speaking with Jordan's mother, Judy, to determine whether or not this fascination with the unknown begins and ends with Jordan, or if it's in his blood. Hi, Judy.
MJ, finally.
Nice to meet you.
Welcome to my home.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much. Come on in.
We are talking scary, spooky things with Jordan's mom, Judy Thompson. Jordan's the host of the Nighttime podcast. This is the swag.
The swag.
Mom gets the swag. And we've got his Best of Halifax awards. When did you first become aware that your son was doing a popular podcast?
He was helping other people with podcasting.
Oh, okay.
Being a guest, sometimes helping them record, etc. Then one day he said, Mom, I'm going to produce my own podcast. Oh, really? That's interesting. It's sad to say, but maybe I didn't think it would be this popular at the time.
Like podcasting.
Podcast,
What the heck is that? Okay, honey.
Because at that time, 5 years ago, podcasts weren't that popular. It was just at the start of podcasting, and he was in there at the beginning.
So yeah, this attraction to the terrifying, does that ever worry you as a mom?
A lot. It worries me a lot. There's been some podcasts that probably halfway through I can't listen to it. Like, it's terrifying.
Yeah, it is scary stuff. But I mean, it's also very informative. I mean, he has a way of seeking out these stories and then being able to engage with people, like the person that was involved in the attempted mall shooting, and getting her to talk to him.
He was the only one that she would talk to.
She wouldn't talk to the police. She wouldn't talk to anybody, but she told the whole story to him.
Amazing.
Yeah, why do you think that was?
I think there's trust in him, because when you listen to his podcast, he has such a calming voice. He just talks like an average, normal person. And I think that's very engaging.
Yeah.
People are willing to open up to him, and they do.
Yeah, yes, they sure do. Some of the pictures of Jordan when he's growing up. This is Jordan with a very creepy little toy, which I think looks like Chucky, but it's apparently a My Buddy.
Always wearing a scary costume. I said that was a skeleton. He said, no, Ma, that's a ghost.
He's 3 years old, and he's pretty macabre already.
At that age.
And what's this?
This was one of his awards in school, and he won first prize.
Take me to your reader.
And of course, a UFO.
And that's a UFO.
Now, he started off very young with scary pictures.
That's Death Mountain.
Death Mountain.
Yeah.
And he would draw all these pictures, like people being strangled and vampires. At that time, I was convinced, do I have a serial killer on my hand?
Oh, what did I want to be when I grew up? Not a mother. I actually wanted to be a nurse, which I suppose is the next best thing to being a mother.
I wanted to be Mother Teresa when I grew up, and clearly I'm not Mother Teresa.
I wanted to be a teacher, but now I work in systems.
In grade 6, I actually wrote I wanted to be an actor, a teacher, and a director of cat food commercials. I've pretty much done all of those things.
I wanted to be a nurse, and no, I am not a nurse now.
I wanted to be a veterinarian, and I couldn't be further away from what I wanted to do as a child. My career led me to travel lots, work for the hospitality industry, and for the last 7 years I've been my own boss. So never saw that one coming.
Did my career change when I became a mom? No, I was already running a business with my husband, and it was a family business. So in the end, the kids ended up coming in, so I was doing what I was always doing.
My career changed when I became a mother, yes, but I just adapted and worked with it.
I had to leave work because in those days, if you were pregnant, you didn't have a job waiting for you when you came back. You couldn't come back.
It didn't really. I used my mat leave to its full potential and then went back to work.
I was still a business owner and still had to show up every day. So baby or no baby, with both my babies, never had a maternity leave. Always brought my kiddos to work from the moment they were born.
I really noticed that I had changed as a mom when I would find myself watching all the Disney movies and siding with the evil witches and queens. Like Snow White, I was like, let me get this straight. She is queen of the land, the fairest of them all. She's got this awesome mirror that tells her she's great, and she is supposed to give all that up because some little has got whiter skin than her? Talk about Snow White privilege. Or Hansel and Gretel, you know those two kids, they're walking in the woods and they get shoved in the oven? Yeah, they were eating that old lady's house. So I think the oven was an appropriate response. I would have used Raid myself, less environmentally friendly, but that's just me. Rapunzel, that girl is letting dudes climb up her hair. That old witch has to pick guys out of her hair. So what does she do? She locks her in a tower. I would have locked her in a cold shower, but yeah. And ladies, who doesn't want a beautiful Dalmatian coat?
I got married at 19. I graduated from high school at 17, got a job, got married at 19. It was interesting. When Jamie was born, I went through a bit of a depression afterwards. It was like your first child. Everything was so exciting. I had this beautiful, healthy baby boy, but then nobody asked about me. It was a very strange time. So when people talk to me about sort of postpartum depression, I get it. And people would just say, get over it. And you did. You just get over it. And then having a newborn baby was tough, and knowing I had to go back to work at 3 months, it was a tough time. You get over it. Unfortunately, the marriage didn't work out, and Jordan and Jamie's father and myself, we decided we'd separate, later on divorced. It was a very tough time. Jamie was about 12, Jordan was about 7. They have a very hands-on father who adores them as much as I adore them, and the decision was made that they would live full-time with him. I was really insecure at the time. I didn't feel strong enough that I could actually be on my own and raise these two boys. I didn't sense I could do that, not knowing how strong I really was. It took me years to figure out how strong I really was. And what was happening at the same time, I was offered a position in Halifax. I accepted it. Summer vacations and long weekends and etc., they would spend with me. I would go to Sydney, and that's how we made it happen. At that time, it was tough dealing with living away from the boys. Mother's guilt, whoa, at points in time it was overwhelming. And at that point, there was no FaceTime either, so it was the phone. So many phone calls. I would call them every night to say goodnight. We'd actually do things in the mail. I'd mail them little pictures I would draw, and they would mail me things they would do. So that's how we stayed connected. My mother was a working mom. My whole life, my mother worked. So I didn't know any different life. Women worked. So for me, that was part of my life, would be to work, get a job. I got a job at 17 and work. When I moved to Halifax, I was a branch manager of one of the branches there, Cole Harbour branch. And the bank at that time was coming out, and they were doing a study on the advancement of women in the bank. Because most of our senior roles were male, our boards were male. So they did a major research into what they call task force on the advancements of women. And I was chosen to be one of the, I think there were 6 of us on that representing Atlantic Canada. It received a lot of media attention, this report. It won a number of awards. And of course, they had to identify the fact that what was keeping women from advancing. In a lot of cases, women with children couldn't take roles that required them to transfer or to move to certain locations. So a lot of times that would be given as the reason why they were not promoted, because they weren't transferable. So the bank had to look at that and figure out how could they remedy that. One of the things I was always conscious of in my banking career, and as I progressed into more senior positions, I never had a university degree. I had a high school degree. And I was always very conscious about that particular piece of my resume. I was determined I was going to get onto that MBA program. I put my name forward, did the applications and et cetera, and I was accepted. And the graduation in Halifax, my mom was there, my dad was there, my 2 sons were there. It was one of my proudest moments. My proudest position of banking, MBA, etc., would be my life right now. I'm a grandmother. I have adorable grandsons. Dominic is 8. Gabriel is 3. These are Jordan's 2 sons. They're here in Halifax, my reason to move back to Halifax, and I adore them.
The best present I gave my mom, I don't really know if she's liked any of the presents that I got her.
Sure I have. Don't you remember in grade primary?
In grade 1, I made you a necklace for Mother's Day.
Oh, that was grade 1, yeah. And I love that, and I still have it.
I don't think I've ever given her a gift. It was only Marley's painting.
My existence?
I still have it.
Okay, then the necklace I don't really remember making.
Answer.
A car?
I would love someone to gift me a car, but...
I'm making up an answer, Mom. I'm making up an answer.
Yeah, the best gift we've ever given our mom is us.
Yeah, I'm not really big on presents.
Normally she would just return it and just buy something that she would want with the money.
Yeah, so I'm like, what's the point?
I know your favorite gift.
What's my favorite gift? Oh, yes. My favorite gift has been, except for this one on the 7th-day labor. She thinks she's my favorite child.
I am.
All right, moms, let's go around the room and see everyone's DIY nursing covers. Starting with you, Stella.
Thank you. Well, as you know, I'm a natural seamstress. My mother was a costume designer for 43 years.
You've mentioned.
I wanted to make something that I would actually use. As you can see, it is stylish, well-constructed, and of course, tasteful.
Of course. Thank you, Stella.
So tasteful.
Susie, tell us about yours.
I went for a more reach-around style.
I think you mean wrap around.
Oh, yes, of course. Well, it's got full coverage and a touch of playfulness because I made a matching headscarf.
Oh, how very tasteful.
So tasteful.
And last but never least, Bridget, what have you?
Oh my. This offers a ton of mobility and privacy for baby and me with a touch of playfulness. Plus, it is also very tasteful.
It's dreadful.
No, this is exactly what we mean by tastefulness. There's no chance anyone's gonna see a nipple. How are you comfortable in that? I'm not, but I am totally comfortable pretending that making tastefulness a top priority is 100% our decision and not some subliminal reflection of the societal holdover on the female frame. I have made breastfeeding disappear.
You look crazy.
Crazy? Crazy is getting kicked out of a restaurant for breastfeeding. Crazy is getting scolded at for nursing on a 9-hour flight. These covers are for men so that they don't get caught sexualizing female breasts. These covers are for everyone but us.
I think you need to relax, Bridget.
Fine. I'll take my crazy butt home and tuck myself under the covers and, oh wait, I already am. What can't this thing do? Oh, and by the way, it's called a boobie. Get it? Because I'm a ghost and it covers my boobs. Oh, forget it.
Well, much like postnatal stretch marks, we're all glad she vanished, right?
What a cute joke. It was so tasteful.
So tasteful.
You're so tasteful.
Oh, you're both the most tasteful.
Okay, Judy, are you ready to try your son's skill?
Absolutely, let's do it.
Have you ever done investigative podcasting before?
No.
Neither have I.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure podcasters wear trench coats.
Idea.
Yeah. And fedoras. Oh my God, you look like you're gonna flash someone. That's a podcast idea. My Mom the Flasher. We got this. MJ and Judy. Now we're hunting for aliens. You don't actually believe in aliens.
I'm not convinced. It would take a lot for me to believe in. What's this?
Oh my God, it says eh.
Eh. No. It says hi. There's an H and an I. Hi. It's a sign.
That's freaky. Who did that?
No idea. It wasn't me. MJ, I have a story for you.
Do you?
A true story, a family story.
I'm in.
It was back in the late 80s. My mother and father, they were driving to a funeral of a good friend, and my dad saw this big, round fire thing in the sky, big, big light. He's going up a hill. This is a true story. Car stalls. This light then goes to the other side, disappears, and his car starts.
Aliens?
He truly believed it was a UFO. And my mother, it took her years to talk about it because she was so scared because she thought people would think she's crazy. They're crazy. What do you mean, a UFO? So it's kind of our family story. And that's where Jordan started his podcasts. A number of years after Jordan's podcast on my father's UFO story, an astronomer contacted him from Newfoundland. And she reported that the night of the sighting, there was a comet that went over Newfoundland, and what probably could have been seen in parts of Cape Breton.
A comet?
Yes.
Oh. So you think it was a comet?
Yeah, that's what it was.
So I guess there's no such thing as aliens then.
That's why I don't believe.
Okay. What I learned from Judy is that if you pay close enough attention when they're young, you can sometimes catch little glimmers of your children's future, whether you realize it at the time or not. And that determination can take you everywhere, if you let it. Everybody thinks a newborn baby looks so beautiful, but really, in reality, they look like Yoda. You know, when you have a newborn, everybody wants to visit the baby as soon as they're born, but nobody wants to stay with the baby. Since I had children, I have become very good with my feet. Because I have to. I'm carrying the baby around all the time. Like, I am a master. I can do anything with these things. Like, if I was tied up to a chair like in Reservoir Dogs, I'm pretty sure I could get out. You will never understand true love until you have a pantry full of Halloween candy that you can't eat.